Hi guys, it's Amy with Aim to Plan, and today I'm here with a fun little project setting up a new Disney planner. So I said planner, but I don't really mean planner. I actually mean a reference binder. If you are interested, I am going to link in the description a video that I recorded about my home binder system. And in that video, I kind of talk about all the different components of my home binder system. It does constantly change. It is, as you can kind of imagine, it is a reference for my home. And I have several different binders that I use. All of the binders are set up in these binders from the Work Plus Lifeline. I did try to buy all of the black ones so that way it can sit on the shelf and kind of look good. I will take a photo and post it in here too so you can kind of see how most of them look sitting on the shelf. But in the video, if you watch the full video, I talk about several different aspects of my home binder system, but just as a quick recap here, I have several of these binders. This one is fun, and this one says travel. I also have a medical, a family one that's related to all things for our immediate family of 4. I also have one that is house related items, so house and car related, like all the documents that we need for our home. I'm trying to think of the others. I have one that is travel related, and I think there's only one more, and that's going to be school. But what I'm going to do is kind of set up a brand new one. So this will be in addition to my home binder system. The home binder system, just in general, are all of my long-term reference notes. I do planning in it, but mostly it's going to be things that I refer to time and time again. So just as an example, for my medical records, I have all of our medical history, all the documents from previous doctor's appointments, which I don't always need all the time, but when I need it, I know where to find it. So it's all the things that I want to store somewhere and organize in a way that makes sense, but I don't use it on a day-to-day basis like I would with a planner. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, I will link the video with the most updated video on this channel for my home binder system. It is a work in progress, so I have definitely made changes to it, but it should give you the general idea of how I set it up. But like I said, today I'm going to set up a brand new one. I initially was thinking I should set it up with this cover. I love this cover. It's one of my favorites. I got this, I believe, from a budget planner, a budget guided journal, I think. But I was thinking, if I'm going to put it as part of my home binder, I'm going to go ahead and set it up legitimately as one of the binders. I'm going to put it in the black cover that I have, and luckily I was able to find one in my stash. Now this is so funny because this is one that I had for chores. I decided that chores was something that I do want to touch on a regular basis. So again, going back to what I mentioned earlier, the home binders are things that I would reference and need to keep long term, but I don't use them every single day. Here, chores I felt like was something that I wanted to try to do every day, and so I ended up converting my chores into an actual planner. And so that is an actual planner. Let me see if I can pull it. So here's my chores planner. So and it has all of the notes that came initially in here, but also it has that back side where I'm using the Simply layout and just tracking day to day all of my chores. So again, hopefully you can kind of hear the difference of how I separated the home reference material. These home binders are really meant for long-term reference material and things I do need to keep but don't necessarily need to look at every day. And if it's in my planner, I want to look at it every day, and if it's in here, I know where they are, but I don't have to look at it every day. So since I do have this cover, and I had it initially for chores, one of the first things I did was I realized that if I put the binder this way, when I initially set this up, I did put the letters on the way that I thought that they should look, but if I put it this way on the table, it's upside down. So hopefully you can see that. So I did at some point go through and flip the letters around. So this is a good example. It's laid like this, and if you turn it up, you can see that the letters are where you can kind of see them. So I don't, at this point, store them like this, but I might have so many at some point that I do store them like this, and I want to be able to read them right side up. And so I'm going to take these letters off, and I think maybe just stick them right here. I'm going to stick this is a box of discs. I'm going to stick it right here on the edge. I might go back in here at some point and just kind of add them back in here, but I want to change out these letters and put Disney. And I pulled these two binders because I thought that the initial kind of setup of this would pull from these two binders. What I'm doing here is not really adding anything. I'm just kind of reorganizing what I already have in my home binder into another binder, and I think it'll make sense once we start getting into it. But I want to do the initial setup here with like setting up this stuff. Now, this was initially, you can see here, a planner, and so I haven't gone through and covered up any of these dates. I'm not going to worry about that at this point. Again, it's long term, so I can definitely do it at some point. But I did pull out all of the planner inserts and the discs and everything. So I did bring this box where I've now put all of the chore stickers. But this is one of those Sterilite shoe boxes. It's pretty much straightforward, where it's just all of my discs. Actually, not all of my discs, just my black, white, silver, gray discs, like all the, the black and white ones, basically. And I have all of the discs in here. I think what I'm going to do is, normally I use plastic discs, but these are Mickey discs. I have to use it, right? It's a Disney planner. And so I'm going to find 9, 2, 3, 4, okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so other than being sorted by color, I do have like some non-happy planner discs in here. There's some non-happy planner discs in here too, but these, I can tell that they're non-happy planner. The non-happy planner that kind of like blended in, I put into a separate bag. But these otherwise, just these boxes of discs sit in my planner closet, and I have multiple colors of those discs, or multiple categories. So I have a blue, green, pink, purple, actually purple, pink, and red, and gold, and like brown and bronze and all of those gold related colors. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is basically take this binder and pop the discs on. I'm thinking as we go through this, the one thing that I did forget to grab as part of this video are dividers, and so I will eventually need to get a divider, or get several dividers, and separate these different sections. But I was going to like work in here for a little while before I started labeling dividers. I also got my stickers. These stickers I did get from Amazon. I will link this in the description. So I just love these letters. They're like very modern, and I do keep these home binders on a shelf in my living room, and so I wanted the letters to like kind of be a modern contemporary vibe instead of something that was like, I don't know, like kitty-ish or anything like that. I wanted it to blend in with my decor in my living room. So again, I posted a photo earlier just so you can kind of see what it looks like sitting on the shelves in my living room. And so I'm gonna go through and just find the Disney letters and put it here. Now, because I'm writing it and D is over here somewhere in the middle, I have to start with the Y and just kind of work backwards. And this pack of stickers, it had like, I think maybe, well, a lot of sheets, definitely more than 5. And so it has like one of each letter, but it's one of those where you have several sheets, and so you can absolutely find the letters. And I have not yet run out of letters. That's always good. And so there's some E's and things like that, but I also know with chores that there was an E, so I'm going to use this E, and hopefully I don't misspell this on camera. That would be super embarrassing. What I do with these letters, I had to measure the margin here, so it was like 1.5, and I bought letters that were 1 inch in height, and so that way it would sit very nicely in here. And what I do with the letters when I put them on here is just try to make them be in the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect, obviously it's a DIY kind of project, but I do want it to kind of be in the middle. I feel like the E is more in the middle than the Y, and so I'm going to fix the Y now. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but something like that. Okay, and then let's go to the next letter. We'll have an N. I just love being able to put my own spin on the different products that the Happy Planner has, and so this is just one of the ways that I do it. And so I just wanted to, I was just thinking I needed to have a Disney like home binder reference or something, just because we love Disney. We're always at Disney. We actually just got our annual passes, renewed our annual passes, and so we're about to take a trip to Disney, and I've been doing some Disney planning, and those pages are in the travel planner. But I thought, it's nice, and I do appreciate having the travel plans for Disney in the travel planner. That feels so crooked to me. You guys can tell me if it is or isn't. You can definitely correct me. But I just thought, I totally get that, Disney and Disney planning can absolutely go in travel, but I also we do things, or I do at least, related to apparel, Disney bounding, and Disney movies and Disney watching, and so there's lots of Disney related items, and I wanted to put them all together in this one folder. So that's what it looks like. Disney, I did spell it correctly, I hope. And what we're gonna do now is keep it fairly simple. All right, I've done the majority of the work. What I'm going to do now is actually maybe just move it up here, and I'm going to start, I think I'm going to start with the fun. All right, so this Fun and Games home binder is, I did this probably beginning of 2023. I decided this this Fun and Games home binder would be a collection of different things that me and my immediate family, that's, me, my husband, and our two girls, the things that we like to do. So just as an example, it won't be a full flip through of everything, but this very first section is all things Disney related. I actually might take the divider as well, because that divider is so cute. But just, again, not a full flip through of everything, but at one point in life, probably in the early 2000s, I decided to write out all the different Disney animated movies, and that's a list. I gave up on that, but then I decided to print it out. This is from the Wikipedia page for Disney animations, and so I just printed that out and stuck that in here. Then at some point later in the future, I'm trying to flip through all that, I decided to go back and try to type it up as a Word document, so that is that list. And then I went back to, because I got lazy, printed it out again on Wikipedia. And then finally, at some point, I decided to sit down and finally write it out by hand. So I will flip through this just to show this to you. So this is the Laugh-O-Grams Films. This is the company that Walt Disney owned before he owned or incorporated Walt Disney Productions. And so he was able to produce several short films, and so I have a list of those. He also started the production. One of the very first ones was Alice's Wonderland. He produced that under LOGF, but then LOGF went bankrupt, and so he then went shopping for another production company with Alice's Wonderland, and ended up finding someone, and so they eventually produced all of these Alice comedies. And this was, I guess it was under the Disney production company. I don't actually know. He also developed Oswald the Lucky Rabbit and several shorts related to that character. The Lucky Rabbit, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, has a very fun history. I should put some of that here. But he was one of the characters that Walt Disney was involved with developing, but the rights, the intellectual property for Oswald ended up kind of going back and forth between different companies. So again, I'm a total Disney nerd. I want to be able to take those notes and put them in here somewhere. Right after that, of course, after Oswald and the big fight, Walt Disney did develop Mickey Mouse. He had the idea for Mickey for a very long time and had sketches of him and things like that, but he finally put Mickey into a character and started developing all of these shorts related to it. So on this side, I have all the ones that were not related to the Silly Symphonies. These are all the shorts with Mickey. And then on the side is the Silly Symphonies, which does include Mickey, but also includes other characters. And you can see here, I basically wrote it like this, and then skipped a line because there's the line right there, and then skipped a line because there's that, and it just goes back and forth. But this is in order. It just kind of flip-flops back and forth. Same thing here, same thing here, same thing here. At this point, I started tracking and created kind of this super simple column where it has SS, which is Silly Symphonies, then Mickey Mouse, which at this point I'm not going back and forth like I did on the previous pages, but if it had Mickey Mouse, that was the second column. Then this one is Donald, and then this is Goofy. So those, of course, are some of the main characters for the original Disney company. And so they are there. Then after that, at this point, Walt Disney moved into animated films, feature films, like feature-length films, actual films, instead of short films. And so this is the first one, and then I continued to track all of the characters here, but then added the P being Pluto, I believe. I should know that, but I really don't. I'm pretty sure it's Pluto though. And so I added that, and then I did the feature films, and then wrote down all of the short films that occurred after that, and then the next feature film and the shorts that occurred after that, Fantasia, and so on and so forth, right? So hopefully you can kind of see that. And then here we're going into where these are WAC, NF, BC, MM, D, G, and P. The WAC were videos that were developed for, I can't remember what the acronym is for, but these were short films that Walt Disney produced for wartime efforts. And so those were that. I don't remember what the acronyms are at this point though. And then at some point I added the F, and I don't know what the F is. I have no idea. What would make sense? You guys, let me know what the F is. And so I did, you could see, still doing the feature films and then the shorts, feature film, shorts. And then at one point I just stopped tracking the short films. I basically stopped with Walt Disney's death with the short films. I will eventually go back in and continue the list. I want to also continue the list of animated films. I haven't done that yet in terms of writing them out. But then after that I have, here's Cinderella, and I watched them. Here you can see these dates. This is Cinderella 1, Cinderella 2, Cinderella 3, and I just took notes related to that. We did watch it, Sophia and I watched it together. Right. Did the same thing here for Frozen and some of the shorts for Frozen. Here was At Home with Olaf, which was the shorts that were related to the pandemic, or were that released during the pandemic. I did watch all of them. I just didn't write all of them down. I need to finish that. Here's The Little Mermaid. So of course there's the animated film, but there was also a TV series, and then 2 movies, 2 like sequels. And so I want to watch those. And so one thing for this section is that I do want to split it up to where there's like the entire list of animated films, and then like the specialty films and movies and my notes related to that. That will be like the second divider. But for the time being, I'm just going to take this entire section out. I'm going to set it over here. All right. And then just to quickly show you the rest of this, the second divider here was other TV shows that I watched. So this is Game of Thrones. Don't know why that was sticking, but Game of Thrones. And I just took notes related to that. We have, of course, My Little Pony. Sophia is totally obsessed with that. More My Little Pony. This is G1. Property Brothers. I love Property Brothers. The Handmaid's Tale. So those are just other TV shows and movies and things like that we watch. This third section is video games. And so it's just notes related to all the different video games that I play. Here's some super old notes from like when I played Farm Story. These are like some of the emulators for Nintendo. This is Legend of Zelda. I love Legend of Zelda, so I have a bunch of notes related to that. Here's like actual notes like all the shrines that I was able to complete in Breath of the Wild. I didn't complete all of them, but those are from that. I really should cross this out or cover this up. This is unrelated at all to video games. I just used that sheet. And then here's Super Mario Brothers. Love Super Mario Brothers. Here's all my notes. I had it on sticky notes, and I just didn't want to deal with transferring them over. And then, of course, Pokemon Go and those notes. Those are all in there. I won't flip through all that. And then here, this kind of set right here were all the notes that I had related to Tears of the Kingdom. And so I was just taking it on random sheets of paper. You can see here. That's kind of what it looks like. Just trying to quickly show you this. I didn't really need to take so much time with it. But like all these random notes. Oh, I wrote much more neatly here. That's cool. I love to play Bunko. And so this is from the very first time I played Bunko. I like put my score there. And then here is like books. And so I've got a bunch of reading notes. I won't flip through all this, but it's just like reading notes, summer reading lists, printables, things like that. I now have a reading planner. So actually I should probably move this out into the reading planner, but I will do that separately, not on this video. Okay, So for the time being, actually, let me move this and put this in here. For the time being, the only thing that I pulled out was that first divider with the animated shorts and all those notes that I had, and I'm gonna go ahead and stick them in here. Just transferring it over to my new Disney binder. All right, so that's that. All right, and then in here, in travel, I have, of course, my travel planner. I've got my passports and things like that. And then this was what I set up in a previous video. I will show this to you. Probably shouldn't have pulled it off, but I did have a previous video where I set up these pages, all 5 weeks of pages. And I've been taking notes in here on an upcoming Disney trip that we are taking. And so just quickly showing this to you. And this is kind of why I wanted to develop the new, and we're not quite here yet, so we're like right here. But I wanted to have all of these notes together, like all the things related to travel and the movies and things like that, all the Disney related things I wanted to have together. So I'm just going to stick this actually in the front here just because I don't have a divider for it yet, and I am using those notes, so I want it in the front. But I wanted to show you some other things in here that are Disney related. Okay, so I have this whole travel section. It has like Swarm, which is a kind of like a app that I no longer play. I should really get rid of that. Here's some stuff related to a family reunion. Here's a Disney trip that we took March 2020. That was actually, it was so interesting. We went, and this was like a couple of days before they shut down for COVID. So yeah, we were there when they were making the decision to shut down. So we were there during that period, and we were on the drive home, and they basically announced that they were shutting down. So yeah, that was when we went. I also have this, I mentioned this earlier, but I like to dress up as Disney characters in like the adult cosplaying, which is like called Disney bounding. And so this was something that happened during COVID. I'm gonna pull this out and put that in there. This is a Disney cruise tracker. Definitely want to have that in my Disney binder. This is cruise related, so I've got like cruise travel packing list, some cruise related notes, some cruise list. This is like very specific to cruising, but here I have something related to Disney. This is the list of stuff that I bring to Disney, and so I'll take that out and put that in here. Here's some more. I won't show this to you, but basically this is just like I turned it sideways and took notes on different cruises that I am thinking about taking. And then here is all of the other Disney pages. So let me just show you how empty they are. One of the reasons why I decided to, in the previous video, the Disney planning video, decided to go back and use these pages is because they are so empty. And so I definitely want to pull this out because that will go in Disney planning. I've got this like little stash here of like applications for passports, which, you know, I can throw this away because we've received the passport at this point. And this is like, I won't worry about that. And then this is an actual cruise trip that we took. I need to reorganize this, definitely put in some dividers because I want the cruise stuff to be separate from some of the like actual just travel documents and things like that. It could be definitely organized. Okay, and then here's a bucket list. Some of these items I do need to go in here and maybe pull off because they're related to Disney. Like right here, Disney trip, I can see Disney, take a Disney cruise, visit Disneyland, visit all the Disney theme parks. So they're all travel, well, mostly travel related stuff, but a lot of it is Disney related stuff. And then here's a camping, I didn't label it, but it's a camping packing list. And then some notes from, I wanted to try to create a travel log of just like all the different trips that we've taken. And so that is that. I haven't started that really, just the one page. And then here's some more cruise notes. Okay. I am sure at some point I will find more Disney related stuff, but for the time being, this is the initial kind of setup that I've got. I'm going to put the old notes, and again, I need some dividers in here, but I'm going to like live with it for a little while and play with it and see how I want to do it. Do I want to organize it by time or by category, or, you know, how do I want to organize it? I haven't decided yet, but I'm going to put all the pages for Disney, the old pages at least, in here, and then these are like the old planning pages from a previous Disney trip that I didn't use. And then right now, let's just flip through this from beginning to end. I've got my Disney setup in its new setup. I've got the beginning pages, which will eventually get moved back here into a divider, whatever my divider labels will be. But these are the pages that I'm using to plan our upcoming trip. And so again, we just renewed our annual passes, so that's all there, and we're kind of like right here. Yeah, it's the 15th. I don't even know what day it is. It's Wednesday. And so I am still taking notes for some of these things, and then we will be going on the trip next week. Super exciting. And then I pulled this divider from the Fun and Games binder, but these are just all of my notes, and I won't flip through it again, but basically all of the animated films and those notes that I had in here. And then I added, of course, the specialty pages that I DIY'd myself, just those 3. And then I've got a trip, one trip that we've taken, Disney bounding, another trip that we took, the Disney cruise, and then a Disney packing list. And finally, the old pages that I'll eventually use to plan upcoming Disney trips. And that is what we've got so far, just to show you what it looks like. I mean, it's already just like that. I mean, I can definitely add more, but I want to, ultimate goal is maybe save maps, Disney maps in here, save travel plans, be able to do memory keeping and things like that. Although I think I still want to have like a separate like memory keeping, journaling type thing for each individual trip. I want to be able to include some of those items in here too. So there might be some duplication, some things that go in a specific trip travel journal, but also some things that go in here. So that way, I mean, for example, one of the things that I love to do is look at an old map from 10 years ago and compare it to what it looks like now, just because rides change, names change, things like that change. And I just love being able to reference it across time. And so that is what this cute little thing is for. And so we're going to see how this works. Again, always a work in progress for me with my home binder. And so if I don't like this, I can absolutely change it. I've already got a couple of things that I need to stick in here to add, like just as an example, I've got our gift cards from when we purchased our annual passes. So I'm going to stick that in here just for reference in case we need it, in case there's an issue with our payment. I want to put that in here. All those things that are planning related and reference related, I want to put in here. So that is the goal. And again, I think I'll keep the travel journaling, the memory keeping type stuff separately. And so we'll see how that works to see if that distinction really helps me. But I wanted all the Disney stuff together. And that's it. All right, very long video to talk to you about the entire process of me setting up a brand new binder for my home binder system. But I hope you enjoyed it. Even if you aren't a Disney fan or need a separate Disney planner or binder, you can certainly do this for other things. So hopefully that gave you inspiration for how you can do this for yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, and until the next video. Bye guys.